for the things you've done. I wanna thank you for your generosity. And I'll never be alone. That's because you are my friend. That's because you are my friend. That's because you are my friend.
PECO is a great friend to children because they believe in children. They believe that children are never too young to learn, and they believe that children can make a significant difference.
A great friend to kids is someone who's truly committed in investing in a young person's future and inspiring them to reach their fullest potential.
PECO is a great friend to kids because they put their resources where their vision is, kids.
That's because you are my friend.
I think he's a great friend to kids because he cares about them and how their life is.
Yanoff is a great friend to kids.
Because I'm the same height.
Because he's very caring and passionate, and he knows that he's in a very fortunate position to help others, and he takes that opportunity to do so.
That's because you are my friend.
So Christine is a great friend to kids because she has helped to create a program for people with disabilities that focuses on their abilities.
Christine is a great friend to kids because she gives people a voice and an opportunity to do what they love.
Christine's on this earth to really be an incredible role model to so many people, whether they have a disability or they're able-bodied.
That's because you are my friend.
Rubye's Kids is a great friend to kids because it not only celebrates children, but it gives them a gift of love and caring that they can carry throughout their lives.
Rubye's Kids is a great friend to kids because the organization empowers children. They make you feel good, and it makes you really enjoy the holidays and really feel like you're a part of a big celebration and that a lot of people care about you.
We care about having warm coats for them to wear to school. We want them to have a learning center that they can go to and have a good start in life.
Shelly Yanoff is a great friend to kids because she never stops fighting for them and because she wins a whole lot of those fights.
Shelly is a great friend to kids because she has an undying passion for children and for their issues.
Every minute of every day, she thinks about children and their well-being, and she always wants what's right for them.
I want to thank you for the things you've done. I want to thank you for your generosity.
PECO has had an enormous impact on children in this region because they serve so many children in so many different ways. They commit about $5 million annually to programs, to here at the Franklin Institute, to the zoo, at the Free Library, to many other organizations. They believe in children. They believe that the future of Philadelphia is really based in our children.
PECO's Energizing Education program, and it is a great program that we have in the middle schools here in the region. We've worked with about 50 different schools and teachers to help them develop specific curriculum around the environment and energy efficiency.
We all know that funding for education in general is limited. If our children are going to be successful in this highly technological environment moving into college, they need support from the entire community. And just the kind of funding that regular school programs get is not going to provide enough enrichment for our children to really succeed. And so corporations like PECO and Exelon to step forward to provide these opportunities for our children is so meaningful and so critical to their futures.
Just in the past 2 years, we've been able to touch over 2,000 students with this program. So really feel like we've given them a basis, not only from a practical perspective on energy and the environment, but really to kind of whet their appetite for all of the STEM programs.
The PECO grant was so critical
to expanding our vision of what science and mathematics education should be.
The PECO program partnered with the Franklin Institute, and they were able to provide us with a 2-day training on how to use the resources PECO provided. When we went to the Franklin Institute, really what to look for there and how to teach the kids using the facilities of the Franklin Institute along with the resources PECO gave us in the classroom to really mold a really good energy conservation curriculum for our students.
Part of the program is once the students learn the stuff through the curriculum, they then have to do a community project. And what's neat is they go from their teachers and their classroom out into their communities, into their homes, into their community centers, and they engage the neighborhood folks. And in some of these urban cities, this is really an awesome thing to see.
Some of the staff members from PECO were able to come to Widener Partnership Charter School, and with a select group of 5th graders, we did an energy audit here where they learned about energy consumption in all types of buildings, the tools that are used for someone who does an energy audit, and then they were able to go around the school building and test out things in the cafeteria and the library and certain types of light and see how our school itself is conserving energy.
The first year we piloted it just in under 10 schools. Now we're up to dealing with more than 40 schools in the 5-county region. And it's important to understand that that's been made possible by PECO understanding the importance of reaching the community in different ways. And they are leading the path in this.
We are truly honored to be recognized today for this prestigious award, and certainly in the company of those that are being recognized as well.
PECO has made a tremendous contribution to our school, to the lives of our children, to their future.
Thank you, PECO!
Well, it's important to always give back to the community that you work in, especially, being athletes, being faces of the community, being pillars, as they like to say, of the community. So let the people know that we appreciate that work, and of course they love what we do on the field. But we're a lot more than just athletes. This is part of what we do, play baseball, but also another part is what we do is to go out there and make sure that the people of the community are taken care of.
He doesn't really seem to approach charity work as charity. He doesn't seem that he's looking to do anybody a favor. He doesn't see it as a chore. He doesn't see it as something that he has to do because he's big-time celeb.
Jimmy and Johari were already interested and invested in children as they started the Jimmy Rollins Family Foundation for rheumatoid arthritis in children.
I always wanted to do charity work, and the first event I ever did was with the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. So I started the Jimmy Rollins Family Foundation a year later, which first started with the baseball events, and it benefits the Juvenile Rheumatoid Arthritis Foundation. And we send kids to Camp JRA, where they could be, around kids that are in the same situation, and that they know they're not the only one going through it, and they can make friends, have fun, and just, be normal.
Jimmy Rollins is a great friend to kids because he truly cares. Jimmy and Johari got involved in this organization because they came from good, supporting, nurturing families that allowed them to achieve their dreams and become the national public figures that they are.
He seems to truly enjoy his time reaching out to the community and just kind of immersing himself in this class of 3rd graders that have never been to a Phillies game before and have never had something amazing like that happen.
Hillary brought her class down, her kids, and they were a blast. A lot of them their first time at the field. Her kids were able to be a part of J-Roll Aces and meet me, take pictures, and just have a good time.
He did it with very little fanfare. It wasn't a production for him. It was natural. And I think that's a testament to his character and a testament to how he's much bigger than the person he is on the baseball field.
They meet me. Also, they get to meet Ryan. When Shane was here, he'd always come over and say hello. And just hang out on the field, which is an experience that, they wouldn't normally get without some type of special treatment. So because they did work, this was their reward.
My favorite part of the game was that we got to meet him. It was awesome.
Little things that we can do, whether it's giving money to help raise awareness for juvenile rheumatoid arthritis or preventing child abuse, lending a helping hand or encouraging children to do well. That's what we strive to do, and whether we can help one child or 2 children hopefully that instills in them to help someone else in the future.
We have a team full of foundations, which is a great thing. So there are plenty of things getting touched in this community, areas that people have needs, and that's a great thing. So just to be more than just a guy on the field, to let the people know that we care about you as a person, not just as a fan.
But growing up with cerebral palsy was difficult, and I went to a student program for adults with physical disabilities, and it truly inspired me, and I wanted to create that same opportunity for young people with disability.
Christine is a great friend to kids because she helps kids understand that what makes them different makes them beautiful and helps them to embrace and celebrate their differences.
I admire Christine because she was able to keep not only my my hopes and dreams going with acting without boundaries by continuing to act, but everyone else.
And it wasn't until high school where Christine really started to face a lot of obstacles. And I think it was really all those doors that kept getting closed that really made her passionate and focused on making sure that she and other people with disabilities wouldn't be excluded from activities.
I had a difficult high school experience.
Because they just did not understand what cerebral palsy was. So she decided and went to her brothers and asked if she could run a Disabilities Awareness Day at their summer camp.
She really took something that most people would never have looked back at and said, I think I need to help. I need to educate. I need to help people change their opinions. So what Christine's mission was to educate and teach, and started with kids, but it quickly moved on to teachers and future teachers. She started moving into colleges and grad schools and conducting workshops, and that all started in high school. But Christine's most recent program, her Acting Without Boundaries, is pretty amazing. Whenever I go to the shows, the rehearsals, it's great seeing Christine interacting with these younger children or young adults.
Acting Out Boundaries really gives kids like me and everyone here who can't do a lot of things everyone else can a chance to act and get on stage.
I think what I most admire about Christine is really her persistence. She, attacks this work every day. She's relentless about the mission of AWB.
You're going to be amazed at watching actors who are in wheelchairs and walkers truly perform the way that they do, and within 5 minutes you're going to see the wheelchairs and walkers disappear.
She just has such empathy for others, the ability to kind of move forward and to see all of those possibilities and strengths in everyone. I mean, she's extraordinary.
She is a very inspirational woman and doesn't let anything stop her.
When everyone was like, no, they probably could never do that, she was like, they're kids, they can do whatever.
I am so proud of my sister for this award because she is such an advocate to so many people. She's kind of the unsung hero in so many people's lives, and I love her.
What makes us different makes us beautiful.
Congratulations, Christine! Let's get together and feel alright.
Well, Rubye's Kids was formulated almost 19 years ago. My husband Don and I have a holistic health center. He's a chiropractor, and we used to have a patient appreciation day where we supported, at that time, Trevor's campaign for the homeless, and asked our patients if they would bring in a food or a blanket for the homeless. We gave our services away, and we did that for many years until they no longer wanted food and blankets and they wanted checks, so it didn't work for us. So at that point we decided that we love children, and what we would do was make a party for children. I called a woman by the name of Rubye Caesar, who had been a patient at our office, and I knew she was very active in her community in North Philadelphia, and began to propose my idea to her. And at that point in time, she started to cry, and she told me that every year she would have a little party for the children in her neighborhood, and that particular year her daughter had passed away, and she was raising her 2 granddaughters and no longer had the money to make the party. So I cried too, and I told her that we were there to help her, and that was the inception of Rubye's Kids. Since Rubye has passed, somehow she is always looking down upon us and guiding us. In her honor, we named the organization after her, and that's where the name Rubye's Kids came from.
You know, we can't really change their day-to-day lives, but we can give them some experiences that will carry with them throughout their lives. There's some needs, very specific needs for children living in shelters, and the Backpack Project is one of the ways that we try to address the needs of the children. A lot of those children are living under great stress.
In the winter, we provide new coats for them. For the holiday party, we're providing joy and education. Not only are they coming into a wonderful experience, they leave with a book to read. They're leaving with hats and gloves.
I got involved with Rubye's Kids through my elementary school. I was invited one year to participate in the annual holiday party. That was my first time being there, and it was just a wonderful experience. I remember just walking into this like winter wonderland, and it was the first time that I had ever been to anything like that.
One of the things that we do at the holiday party is that we have the children make an ornament to give to someone else. And so we would like them to feel when they leave that not only did I receive all of these items at the party, a new toy and hats and gloves, but now it's my opportunity to pay it forward and give this gift to somebody else.
I went home as a Rubye's Kid. I couldn't wait to tell my mom about the experience. I couldn't wait for her to hear everything that I had experienced. It was something that I never thought could happen.
There's someone out there they may not know that cares about them, because a lot of these children really are up against the wall in terms of their living conditions and things going on in their lives.
It is important to give back. And I know that that's something that I did. I was a Rubye's Kid, and then I went on to become a volunteer, and that's something that other members of my family have done.
We have a storage unit at Easy Storage that we work from. We don't have a building, and yet we are able to impact the lives of thousands of children.
An engaged public is critical to democracy and to everything else, and I think the thing that people should be engaged most about is children and making sure that they are doing what they can to give kids a better life.
She is a force of nature, and she's very hard to deny, and through that persistence, stubbornness perhaps, but passion ultimately, she's been able to push forward issues that have benefited children and youth.
Shelly and PCCY have worked on every issue that impacts kids here. I think especially about their program to stop lead poisoning, ensuring that kids have access to health insurance in Philadelphia, and of course fighting for fair funding for public schools. Those are all huge issues that she's been really dedicated to for a long time.
Virtually every child in Pennsylvania can get accessible, affordable health insurance. Shelly's fought for that for years.
Her commitment to having children have access to the arts, the PECO project, I mean, that's absolutely critical. It's something that is so important for kids to have, and something that Shelly has advocated through PCCY. The ability for children to have adequate eye care. You know, the Children's Sight program that allows kids to have free eyeglasses and free examinations. Thousands of kids have benefited from that.
Full-day kindergarten is now a tradition in Philadelphia, and children can count on full-day kindergarten, largely because of Shelly and the partners she enlisted.
There are lots of groups that work on it. I've been lucky enough to, in many ways, be like a spearhead for it. Our job is to make you and you and you feel that's important and join in asking for it and asking for it and asking for it.
Shelly has worked on issues year after year after year. She's here as politicians have come and gone, and she doesn't forget, and she doesn't give up. And I think that's another secret to her success.
All of us have to get engaged in making a significant difference in the lives of children. Understanding what public policy is doing and not doing, understanding that most of our kids don't have decent child care, that most of our kids are not getting the education they need, that too many kids are hungry, that too many kids don't have health care. If we could get together and say these things are important, we should be doing something about them, then, and if I can play a role in getting people to think like that, that seems to me to be a really great opportunity.
She's a tough lady and a determined lady, but she really laces her advocacy with good humor. So when she went to Harrisburg a couple of years ago to make sure that the message to our legislature was you have to stay strong for kids when you're crafting your budget, she took along a case of cans of Popeye spinach, and she handed them out to legislators saying, stay strong for kids, here's your spinach.
To me, I found it inspiring. Whenever she would lobby me, I'd come away saying, gosh, we got to do this.
She motivates people to do something for kids. And at the end of every speech, every presentation Shelly ever makes, or anything she ever writes, the tagline will always be, do something good for a child today.
I want to thank Shelly for really being a torchbearer and for leading the way for a lot of people who are now dedicating their professional lives to helping children and families.
When you secure a better future for children, you also secure a better future for the city. And she has done all of that.
She gets children. She understands their needs, she understands their vulnerability, she understands their parents, and she understands that we as members of society have a responsibility to the next generation.
It's the combination of this passion, compassion, toughness, and just plain ability, but always willing to give other people credit, work collaboratively. She's the full package.
How much better would this world be if everybody gave into the instinct they have? They have that instinct. They ought to give into it and just do a little bit more each time for kids, and that would make a difference.